Welcome back to the Cyclist Magazine Podcast. I am your host, James Spender. We are now doing this in video. Joining me down the end of a wire is Mr. Will Strickson. Do you think that this little bit of my wire actually just runs all the way from Bristol down the Paddington line and into wherever the hell you live in London, into a very expensive London flat?
There's no such thing as wireless.
There's no such thing as wireless.
There are invisible wires. 4G? No, not having it.
You know that song, Lineman for the County? I am a lineman. I think you mean
Wichita Lineman.
Yeah, Wichita Lineman. Is that Greg? It's Greg Wallace, isn't it? No,
it's
who is it? No, it's Glenn Campbell.
Yeah, it's Glenn Campbell.
The Wichita Lineman is a guy that does...
Before you go on,
yeah,
I'd like to make it very clear on record that is one of the best songs of all time.
I know.
And you can also find him performing it on Jules Holland several years later when he's quite an old man, doing his guitar solos, singing Still Got It. Unbelievable song.
I'm going to go, I might just pause this now and go and watch it. What's the really good line where it's like, because I need you more than love you. No, I love you more than need you, and I need you for all time. Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. I mean, I've just completely mangled a wonderful poeticism. But anyway, the point is, I think the Wichita Lineman was someone that went out and then fixed telephone wires.
Yeah, and he's still on the line.
He's still on the line. Do you think the Wichita Lineman's still on the line? Anyway, moving swiftly on, Will, it's lovely to see you. That is a great song. I'm going to go and listen to it afterwards. What's going on? What's going on in the world of Will?
What's going on? It's another good song. Yeah, all sorts of stuff going on. Busy time of our lives. You know, November.
You're stalling.
November,
any details?
James, what you know and what I know is that November is a great time to have a birthday. And that
it is
means
a great
that
time.
We're both busy.
Yeah. Have you had any birthday meetups, plans?
Yeah, last weekend, basically, Sunday didn't happen.
Yeah. Sunday, I see, because Saturday was such a big day.
Yeah, it's a good day out.
Yeah? Did you end up getting de-locked to a lamppost and having your trousers pulled down at 4 a.m. in the morning?
Thankfully not.
Well, that sounds... How old were you? That sounds lovely.
How old was I? How old am I?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You're older than you were yesterday, but how old were you?
What, yesterday or a couple of weeks ago?
Just any time.
Oh, wow. When I was a youth, I was maybe 6 or 7.
How old were you when you were on your last birthday?
On the birthday, I turned 28.
28? That's not true. Is that true?
Yeah.
Bloody hell, you're not aging well. 28? I can't believe that.
What do you think I was?
I don't know, like mid-30s? I've never really thought about it. Anyway.
Pretty sure you've seen my CV.
I'm sure you'll see. What, has your CV got your birthday on it?
I think so, yeah.
I thought you didn't put that sort of stuff in your CV in case we were ageist and
No, I think what the
companies
companies do, they blank that stuff out.
They redact it. They get their black Sharpie
I don't. But it'll be somewhere.
It'll be somewhere. Anyway, none of this has got anything to do with cycling. So let me tell you something about cycling. I went to Rouleur Live the other day because I'm not scared of mentioning the competition, and it was quite nice. But before that, I saw Scott. And by Scott, I mean Scott Bikes.
Not the bloke.
Which is actually named after Ridley Scott, because the guy who started Scott Bikes really liked Ridley Scott as director.
What current thing to bring up?
What current thing to bring up? But they were bringing up their 5.9 kilo Scott Addict new race bike, which is very light, isn't it? 5.9 kilos. But here's the crazy thing. 16 years ago, when the Scott Addict debuted and they made the limited model, who raced on that bike? Famous little Manx man.
So Mark Cavendish?
It was Sir Mark Cavendish. Is he a sir?
It's either happened or it's about to happen. I think it might have happened.
So Sir Cavendish, I mean, that is a real Knight of the Realm name, but Sir Cavendish raced on this bike. That was 5.9 kilos back in 2008. So how far we haven't come that we're now shooting to try and get back to where we were 16 years ago. But they did it. They made a disc bike. It's got 34mm tyre clearance, 12 watts faster, which I know is something that you obviously object to a lot, because 12 watts faster than what? Speed isn't measured in watts. Doesn't mean anything. Speed isn't measured in watts. But anyway, it's 12 watts faster than the old bike, 800 grams lighter than the old Addict. Weirdly, £1,000 cheaper. How does that work?
Less material?
Less material, yeah. Hopefully, there should be an equation. Less material, because there is less material because the frame is 600 grams, which is quite fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's very light. That's sort of
Do we
worryingly
think
light when you think about
that's
it.
going straight into the national hill climbing scene next year?
No, because people that do hill climbs don't have any money.
Yeah,
there's a correlation.
I'm sure there's a version on Wish or Timo or whatever the kids are using these days.
There probably is, but I don't think you're going to see it there. You're going to see a CAD 10 from 2006 or whenever they did, or you're going to see a Super 6. The Cannondale Super 6 is a classic hill climb bike, very, very light back in the day, the high mod, and it's just all rim brakes, isn't it? Why would you go into disc brakes, which are basically making bikes heavier, such that they have to make frames exceedingly light to offset them, when you could just have rim brakes, cut your bars down. You only need one brake as well on a hill climb bike, I think.
Yeah, and you just drill holes all over it, don't you?
And then you just drill holes through it. Yeah, exactly. Single use. I just think single use. Ride it so it just about falls apart by the top. Make it out of ice.
It will get lighter as you go up. But you'd have to tailor that to the climb, because if the climb is steep at the start, that wouldn't work in your favour.
Exactly, and you'd have to compensate for the change of the temperature as you gained altitude.
Also, water's quite heavy, isn't it?
Water is quite heavy. It's approximately 1 gram a milliliter.
And then what about ice? How does that size-wise?
I reckon ice is lighter than water per volume because it's expanded. Because if you think about putting a beer in the freezer, it always blows the top off the bottle, doesn't it? So therefore, it's taking up more space. So a milliliter is a unit of volume.
Yeah, I think I might be with you.
Think on that, pal. But
then if you have an ice cube in a glass and it melts,
yes,
is it lower down?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Because that's how lots of erosion happens, isn't it? As water gets into rock. Don't you remember doing this in geography? And then it freezes, and the power of water is resplendent in nature. And it freezes, and it just forces the rock apart and then breaks off chunks of cliff.
There you go. Facts.
There you go. Janto Barker told me once that they used to put ice cubes down their seat tubes to make their bikes heavier. So they were 6.8 kilos. And then when they'd race, they would melt, and then their bikes would be lighter.
You want to do that with the old electronic stuff in there?
No, you wouldn't. And there's a blast from the past that I remembered the other day, and you're too young because you're only 28, so Di2, you're probably, I don't think mechanical is even a thing. You were born into the Di2 age. But Di2 batteries used to be external. They used to sit just below the bottle cage. Isn't that funny?
My bike has Shimano Tiagra.
Does it? Great group set.
Man of the people, rim brakes. I don't need Scott to give me a
Mavic
disc brake
Axiom,
bike.
alloy wheels.
Not even Hunt.
Hunt? I don't know. Hunt's quite rarefied. I'd say that the Mavic Axiom is more of the Marxist wheel set.
Yeah, you have to take some privileges somewhere.
Yeah, well, it's true. But that's enough bike chat. Will, do tell us who is on the podcast. Give me a little rundown. He's a famous man, but not everybody knows who he is. Although I'm sure they do know who he is, but everyone likes a bit of background. So
I think he's
give
bigger,
me the skinny.
He's bigger than cycling now. I think people outside cycling know who he is because he's a 2-time Olympic champion in mountain bike. He is a world champion in 3 different disciplines so far. Just not gravel. Oof. Jumping ahead to the end of the interview where that's hinted at. Cyclocross, e-mountain bike, and cross-country mountain bike. And yeah, he's won stage of the Tour de France and outdoors, small thing.
As you do.
Yeah. Strade Bianchi.
On Bastille Day.
Yeah, he's won Amstel Gold twice. That's few Wout van Aert twice. Among other races. Yeah, and he's going to win again, surely, on the road next season, which he will talk about in the interview. It's Tom Pidcock. There's always a lot of talk about you. The last couple of months, there's been a lot of intense talk about your future and your relationships and things. It's a lot of people it's the classic British athlete thing of trying to bring them down. How are you feeling at the moment?
That's the media, innit? They put you on a pedestal or they try and tear you down, don't they?
But both, yeah.
There's not really a middle ground. There's no
no.
He's doing all right or he is all right. It's one or the other, innit?
Yeah, you're either winning or you're the worst person in the world.
Yeah, something like that.
You don't have the
I don't know. I don't really see anything, to be honest. I only find stuff out through people who tell me.
So you're not on social media or reading news about yourself?
I deleted it all to go on holiday, as I always do, and I just haven't used it since. So don't miss it, to be honest.
It's probably a good idea. I feel like even in the last 24
Makes
hours,
the world
there's like
much smaller.
several different stories coming out about like, yeah, Pidcock does this or what Pidcock going to do, and it's like,
Oh, really?
in that,
don't know.
Exactly.
You don't know. It's,
but you probably know already, but you don't know that it's getting reported.
I don't know anything.
I'm going to do some quick fire questions, just a bit more fun than, deep, meaningful chats. So pick one: road, mountain bike, cyclocross. I've put gravel and track in there, but I feel like they're not going to be your priority. Well, they have done some track in the past.
Priority?
No, just pick one. Just pick.
Road.
All right, pick one of these: mud, sand, or snow.
Mud.
Nice. Pick one: chestnut or acorn. No, you don't have to answer that. That's unfair. Rank these three things: winning, entertaining, or thrill-seeking.
Depends.
On a bike in a race.
On a bike in a race, winning. But yeah, it depends on what. Yeah, other context. It depends.
What would you want to be if you weren't a cyclist?
I'd never thought about it, so I don't know.
What age were you when it was like? Was it literally as soon as you were on a bike, this was like,
What I always say is that there was never a point where I was like, okay, I want to be a cyclist. I was always just cycling. And I never really thought I'd be doing anything different because I knew that I could, have a living, have a living from. It could become my job,
Yeah.
But not that I ever thought about it being my job. I was just doing what I was doing, and I knew that that's what people didn't need to have a normal job, or I don't really know the real world. I've never applied for a job. I've never.
Yeah. Well, you're lucky in that respect. What age were you when you popped your first wheelie?
Oh, no idea.
Before you could remember.
Not very old.
Was that technical? The technical side just come really naturally, like you feel off the bike?
I think I always, I used to ride to school every day. I used to go with my friends to the park. I used to.
What kind of bike were you riding then?
I used to go to school every day on a BMX.
BMX, yeah. I was thinking that's classic BMX kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I used to go to skate park. We used to go with my brother and a neighbour, a friend, and we used to go on the park and see who could get the muddiest bike.
Nice, yeah.
And
so you're basically doing cyclocross from like the start.
Yeah, but I never had a cross bike. My winter bike that had the mud guards for the cross bike, and that's what I started racing on. But my first cross races I did on a mountain bike.
It's one of those things. Anything's a cross bike if you're brave enough, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
There's a quote, and I found tompidcock.co.uk, which hasn't been updated for quite a while. There was a quote on there saying that your parents wanted you to enjoy riding your bike and not take it so seriously so young. But then when were you being adults by, 15, 16 years old? What went wrong from your parents not wanting you to take it seriously?
Well, it's not that they didn't want to take it seriously. They just didn't. It's not their job to push me. It was if I wanted it, I never took it seriously. Like, I would come home and I would eat half a packet of digestive biscuits, 5 oranges and like a twirl. That was my snack after school,
Sounds like a good meal.
Like, if I ate that now, I'd be, God, I get dropped after 30k in a race, wouldn't I?
Oranges probably be all right.
Yeah, the oranges, yeah. Need a bit of variety diet, though.
If anyone hasn't seen it that's watching, there's a great video of 5 times Tom Pidcock shot the world brackets before he was famous on Monument Cycling.
Video,
Have you seen that?
That was quite a cool video, to be honest.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the good old days doing crits and that was good fun, actually. Good times.
Yeah, those like national series races, they just seeing you looking like 4 years old, obviously not 4 years old.
Yeah.
But sweeping those corners, that's good value.
That me would beat me now, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Not by power, but
in a crit.
In a crit, okay. When was the last crit you did? All the way back then?
I don't know. When was the most crit style race I've done in the... Don't know.
You've been invited to the Singapore Saitama Criterium's Tour de France stuff?
Yeah, this year, but I didn't
fancy it.
No, I wanted to go on holiday and not see anybody instead.
Well, it's all right. You knew who was going to win anyway, so there's no pressure.
Yeah.
When you were young, obviously you're saying like you're just enjoying it, you were riding. Did you have visions of your pro career, and what were they? Were you thinking about, I'm always going to want to do a mixture of disciplines, or were you thinking, I'm going to be mountain bike world champion or cyclocross world champion or, Tour de France?
To be honest, cyclocross I didn't follow at all until I started racing it, to be honest, like till I was 17, even going to Europe. And then I began to learn who people were, like who Sven Nys was. And mountain bike, I always watched the specialised roundup videos of World Cups. So I kind of knew about mountain biking, even though I didn't get into that until much later on the World Cup scene. And then road racing, of course, yeah. That's what we always watched as a family. And
yeah. Was that more like Tour de France than classics then?
No, classics and Tour de France is kind of what we watched. We didn't really watch anything else.
I feel like classics is such like a Yorkshire thing, like proper tough racing. I guess that goes in like the cyclocross thing. So you kind of, someone from Yorkshire's going to thrive on a cold day when everyone's just in pure pain. But at least now you get both.
Yeah, I'm not very good in the cold anymore. I think it's the same with all. We have to do so much training now. It's not possible to do it in cold weather.
Yeah.
In a bad climate. So, yeah, it's not really like anyone's adapted to it, to be honest.
Yeah. What do you miss about Yorkshire and being at home?
Well, I did I was there now for a few days, and it's just like still the same.
Yeah.
Just go ride the same roads. Don't make a route on my Garmin. Just get out and ride. And when the weather's nice, I don't prefer anywhere else to ride.
You don't, hop on Link My Ride, find a group ride in your local area?
Yeah, I would do if I had a bit more time, but Jack's keeping me busy.
So when you were coming through the ranks, you obviously at Wiggins' team, how much time did you have actually with Bradley at that time? Was he around like when you were riding for the Wiggins team?
Not really, no.
Have you spoken to him much in the years since then? No.
Not really.
But he was probably, I'm guessing, from your age. I mean, it was for me, and I'm a few years older than you, someone that you would have looked up to at the time.
Yeah, 100%.
Pretty special feeling to be in the team.
I think, growing up watching, Brad and Cav through me, Team Sky on TV, it's like, seeing them British riders, British team, so successful. It's like if they can do it, I believe I can do it as well. That's kind of how I saw it, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like the time when you were coming through was ideal for like a British rider to break through. People were looking to British riders to be the ones that were going to come through.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you ever feel, I don't know how to phrase the question really, when you look around you at the other people that have come through at the same time, obviously you've been hyped up for so long, but then you're met with these people that are immediately put on this pedestal, like a Pogacar, like a Vingegaard, like a Evenepoel. Does it feel annoying that, they've got the focus, or does it feel a bit like, I kind of wish that, they just bugger off a little bit?
Well, you don't get gifted things like that, do you? I think after the season that Tadej's had, it's pretty, it's incredible. No one's going to say anything otherwise, are they?
Yeah. I saw that you, in an interview, ranked your Strada win over the Alpe d'Huez win. I think because you sort of saw that Alpe d'Huez is sort of more of a breakaway than, going head to head with like the GC riders. But you must have still that Alpe d'Huez
that was pretty incredible. Like,
especially because you're riding with Froome that day as well. Like what you just said.
Like going up Alpe d'Huez, the first rider to pass all those crowds who've been waiting there all day.
Yeah,
like thousands and thousands of people, and yeah, that you don't get to experience in many other sports, do you?
Had you done that descent before in a recon, or just riding?
Yeah, the day before we rode it.
Oh, right, yeah, of course. So were you thinking when you were riding up it about the corners?
No, it's just, when you've got the thing that helps so massively is if you have a motorbike in front of you. If you're going blind, like it's difficult. But when you've got a motorbike, you're following it. It helps a lot, and you don't really get that from. You can't really see that from TV. That makes a big difference.
So when you were doing the Safa Brian one, you didn't have a motorbike in front of you on that, did you?
Oh, well, no, but we did do it a few times.
Oh, did you? Okay. There was that one part, I think, where you see like a little like stone skip in the corner and you're watching. It's like, oh my God. Did you feel that at the time?
To be honest, we didn't send it that hard. Like, we went fast. I had to make it go fast to make it look good to me, but yeah, we weren't fully. I think if I was younger, I would have been like, okay, I'm gonna see how fast I can go.
Yeah.
But now it's a bit like there's more to lose. It's boring. So I said to my dad, you're boring. Come on, go faster. We used to go mountain biking and stuff, but I don't know. It just happens, doesn't it?
That's
more
the thing.
to lose.
So your Instagram bio, you've got "You Only Live Once," which obviously goes both ways because you only live once. But how do you balance that risk and the thrill?
Like the threshold of, impacting my quality of life or, what I want to achieve in life is probably, it goes higher up the risk scale than other people, I would guess. But, I'm not going to kind of, I'm not going to do that because it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what I like to do. I'm a bit of a thrill seeker in that sense. But then again, I don't go crazy. I'm not. Like, I remember when I was young, my family went on, I think we went on holiday to like Italy and Slovenia or something. Then we went canyoning, but our guide was drunk and the water level was low. Honestly, I've never been so scared in my life. I was like crying, and my mum had to me and my mum climbed out of the canyon and we walked down to the bottom. I was like, there's no way I'm jumping in that pool.
How old were you at the time? Just like last year?
Like 12 or 14 or something. I don't remember.
But you probably feel a bit more comfortable on the bike than I guess you would in that situation.
Yeah, I'm not really good at swimming. So
when you're descending, like those sort of famous ones, what are you thinking about? Are you fully locked in, or are you so comfortable that you're just quite chill? Because you sort of see like Cavendish, or even in other sports, when you get the top players, like in team sports, they say the game slows down, or Cavendish when he's in like a sprint, it's going so fast, but it sort of slows down for him so he can make his way through. Do you think that happens to you when you're descending?
Yeah, I guess when you say locked in, like for example, this Safa Brian video, I saw him yesterday actually in hotel lobby. I think he's in London at the moment. Like there, I was thinking too much because I was trying to be safe and just do it smooth. But actually in a race, when you're doing it, you think about other things. Like you do the corners and you can think about, like for example, in Tour de France, like trying to look where the break is and how far away it is, and then how much risk I need to take on the descent. And because then you're actually focused.
Was there ever any chance that you weren't going to make that move at the end of the Paris mountain bike race?
Not if the opportunity opened up, no.
So as soon as you see that, but I'm guessing you're waiting for that to open up.
Yeah, if it didn't open, there would have been no move, It would have been a sprint down the finish straight.
Do you fancy yourself in the sprint though?
Victor's pretty fast, to be honest. So, but he had been going for half a lap at that point, so who knows? But he's pretty fast. In a straight out sprint, you'd beat me.
How confident were you when you had caught him? Because I know you've been in. So you can make the thing about coming back from your puncture, and obviously, it's the Olympics, you don't want that to happen. But you've done so many races now when you've had to go from like the back of the pack, or something's gone wrong, whether it's in cyclocross or mountain bike. Once you caught him, were you like, okay, this is just another Tom Pidcock special where I'm going to make my way through? Or do you doubt yourself in that moment?
No, once I caught him, I thought, I've caught him pretty fast now. He's on his last legs. So I thought I was going to carry on, but then he'd waited, He'd got his breath back. He made sure we caught him on the single track. So then he could also, carry on recovering. So yeah, he had a good second win, to be honest. It was more than I expected.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Olympics now? Obviously, 2 gold medals back to back. Obviously, you're never going to turn down a chance to go and do another gold medal, but feel like your experiences have been so different because you had Tokyo with sort of the COVID games with no fans. And then you had Paris where it was the French fans who were disappointed that it was you that came out first. And obviously they reacted the way they did. Do you feel like you still need to have that moment in LA? Or do you feel like it will be what will be?
The first Olympics was, well, if it was in 2020, I wouldn't have gone.
Mm.
It was, just I've got everything to gain, nothing to lose. But the second one, honestly, I didn't enjoy very much. The pressure, I didn't handle it very well. I kind of put too much on myself because it was kind of, this is what I wanted to do all year, defend my Olympic title. And then the race, how it happened with the puncture, I didn't enjoy the race either.
Yeah.
It was, a bit much. I've never been so exhausted after finish. Normally, you finish a race, you're tired, you get your breath back, and then you're fine.
Yeah.
Your legs might hurt, but whatever. But there, honestly, I was cooked. Like, I was there waiting, feeling sick, waiting for the podium. I was leant on this railing, just with my kind of head down. I was gone.
Did you feel that relief straight away? Did it take like a few days to be like, thank God that's over kind of thing?
Yeah, with big events like that, it's always more relief than happiness or whatever other feelings, Because to be honest, I was the favourite. All I could do was lose. I could meet expectations or lose.
Yeah.
You can't win.
Yeah.
In terms of, expectations.
Yeah. Do you feel, obviously you said you don't look at stuff online, but you obviously feel pressure. How much does that weigh on you? And does that come from yourself or come from like outside?
Yeah, this time I think I hype myself up a bit too much. I should have just chilled out a bit. Because sometimes I feel like I'm not really bothered.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of, hype myself up a little bit. But then I kind of did it a bit much.
Yeah.
So
I guess that's, as you get older, you're probably doing that more, right? As you talk about like young Tom would beat you in the crit race, young Tom's probably not feeling any pressure, right?
No, not really. I mean, I think sometimes I feel like it's wrong to not be feeling anything, to not.
Yeah.
But then, I probably am, but maybe, you just because to be honest, it's not going to change my life if I lose.
Mm.
When you're younger, it can change your life.
Yeah. Now you're at the top. I guess the only place to go is stay at the top.
Or down, which is going to be sooner or later.
Yeah, exactly. In terms of, you talk about, obviously Olympics was the big goal. Now you've got that 4-year window. It's a bit different. Last time was 3 years as well. Are you thinking about having a break, or are you from mountain bike and focusing elsewhere? Are you always going to be keeping that going?
After the Olympics, I said to my girlfriend, now I want to prove myself on the road, and focus on that. So last year's, of course, we try and fit it in around the road to get points for the mountain bike, but it's and that was the goal in my head. It's not like can get rid of that, the mountain bikes in the Olympics. So now that's done, of course I can switch my focus a bit.
And when you talk about your focus on the road, is that, a bit of everything? You're going to go back to the classics? You're going to
I want to
again?
I think the big thing, I want to win a monument.
Yeah. Is that over doing like a Grand Tour stage race?
Yeah.
Have you got a monument specifically, or are you just going to go all in? Because I feel like you're one of those riders that, well, I guess it's like Pogacar, you can stick you at any of them and you've got a chance.
There are a few that suit me, but obviously, it's not going to be bingo first time of trying if I just pick one, so try and be good and hope things fall into place. And
do you know all the corners of the Poggio descent now?
No, not really. Don't know it so well.
So obviously we've seen that one on a descent a few times over the last years, and you talk about someone that's being like elite descender. Do you watch those and think, I could easily do that? obviously it's different when you're actually in the race. And
yeah, I think it's a weird races. I mean, you're riding for, well, it's only 6 hours, isn't it? I don't know how fast we ride now, but 300k, and like every move you make can lose you the race, but every right move will only keep you in the race to still be in the chance of winning. Last year, I didn't fight hard enough to stay in position of the Poggio, and that cost me, being further forward.
Mm-hmm. I guess that's similar with Roubaix. How was your first? Obviously, you've won the age group ones, but how was your first pro one? And is that something you're going to do like year on year now?
Yeah, I thought it would be great, just drop in and I'll be all right. But I've never really get blisters, with mountain biking stuff. But obviously, I didn't do any of the cobbled classics.
Yeah.
Oh man, after I think with 50k to go, my hands were so blistered. I was having to hold the bar like that, and then my wrist was hurting, and it was painful. So I think I need a little bit more preparation if I'm going back there.
Mm-hmm. How did it feel in the moment? Did you feel like this is definitely a race that I can win? Because I think you've spoken before about how you'd be the first rider under 60 kilos or whatever it would be to win Roubaix.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true, but it'll be tough, to be honest. When they go when the top guys go on the cobbles, I'm going full gas, and they're going away. So it's it'll definitely be tough, but it is a race that I love. I didn't really love it when I did it that time. I loved it until it started getting too painful. But it's quite it's fun, when you just whack it onto a cobble section.
Yeah. How do you look back on your 2024 season now? Because obviously a lot is being made about the team success, about your success, but you won Olympic gold. You had a pretty solid classic season. You looked like you were going to end the season pretty strongly, and you were maybe inches away from winning a Tour de France stage. Personally, how do you see the season? How do you rank it compared to the success you've had before?
Yeah, it's had its ups and downs. I think it felt like a bloody long year, that's for sure. Feels like a long, long time ago, Amstel and all that. But I think considering it was not bad.
Then what do you look to change for next year? Is that purely, do you think, being able to put your focus into road and not having mountain bike on the main goal?
Yeah, I get the best out of myself when I really say this is what I want to target, and then I think I can get a few more percentage out. But not much different really. I think a few things didn't fall into place. Obviously, things have been difficult, so not much. Can't change much,
Did you watch the Netflix series?
No.
What did you think? Because obviously you say you deleted everything, but you obviously heard the reaction.
Oh, yeah, I was made out to be a fucking bad guy. That thing, wasn't I? That's actually created quite a lot of negative media around me, I think, from what people have said.
That seemed to be the start of the negative loop that's going on at the moment.
Yeah. So I can go and ask any of my teammates. They all think I'm a good guy.
Angel.
No, I'm not an angel. No cyclist is an angel. Well, no one who wants to win is an angel, but I don't care, whatever.
Are you still aiming? You've spoken in the past, I don't know whether it's an aim. Grand Tour GC, is that still on your radar? Are you thinking?
Yeah, but I need to re-find my love for the Tour. This last 2 years have been difficult. Honestly, I didn't enjoy it that much.
Yeah.
But then that first year was incredible, The Tour, biggest race in the world, stage win, Champs-Élysées. Yeah, incredible. So I do need to, when you're getting your head kicked in, it's just not fun, Last year I started with an illness, came round, almost won a stage, more chances than last week, got COVID, went home. This is
good time.
Yeah, great fun.
How do you think your season would have changed, or how the perception of your season would have changed if you'd have won that stage?
I think, you asking if a season went well, I think I would have said it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But now it's a bit it was all right.
Because if you're saying, big classics win, Tour de France stage win, Olympic gold.
Yeah.
No one turned that down.
Yeah, then it's not Taddy's season, but it's all right.
Let's talk a bit about Link My Ride, because you're home business. That's how we've got you here, which is very grateful for that. Can you explain to those that don't know what Link My Ride is?
It's an app to allow people to find and organise group rides, basically. At the moment, people use WhatsApp and Facebook and different platforms. And we want to put it all in one place and allow people to have a better tool for creating and finding group rides. So, you've got an existing group of friends and you organise, you want to see who's coming, or, us in Andorra, we can know which riders are there because, people are away racing and, different people to message and find out who's there, and you forget one friend, and you got on Link My Ride, we can, just see who's there and put a group ride out, see who's coming and
So was that your idea then? Because you've been going for a few years. Not your idea. You're the cyclist to do the group rides. That helps.
Yeah. But I how many years ago? 4 years ago. Jacques, came with an idea. We used to race on Wiggins together, and he said, "Yeah, I want to create this app." And I was like, "That's a pretty good idea." So we said about doing that. Both didn't really know what we're doing. Now Jacques runs everything and I do what I can, which is not enough. But
people can use it for like personal stuff, clubs, brands.
Yeah, so now we have ticketing, so brands can use it to get people to buy tickets for events or even group rides.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like it's one of those things that is going to be really key to places like Girona or Bassano del Grappa, where there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Cycle tourists want to find a group ride, and there you go. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, I think just kind of want it to be one place for everything, really, and also I think this wave of new cyclists that came in during COVID, it's they need to stay in cycling and there they had the time, they could just go out, enjoy. But I think now, when people are going back to work, they need more of a motivation to go out on the bike and have riding in groups is a brilliant way to do that. And I think actually, like, at home in Leeds, the group rides, like chain gang is barely a thing anymore. We used to have 60 guys on Tuesday and Thursday. It's all dying a bit, so we need to help it as much as we can.
Finally, you need to call it now. What's the next discipline you win a world championship in?
How many more road world championships is Tadej going to? I reckon I'll win another mountain bike world title before.
And is that XCO, short track, marathon?
Yeah, XCO. I don't care about short track.
Go back to the e-mountain bike?
Maybe. Pinarello doesn't have an email bike. Well, they do, but
that's what you're here for. All right, well, that's all we've got time for, I think. Thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate you lending your time and your wisdom there at the end.
Thank you.
Well, how lovely, Tom Pidcock, ladies and gentlemen. Now you can tell us, because the interview has passed, you've had time to think about it. Reflections on talking to Tom, and elephant in the room, his goings-on at Ineos. Give us a bit more about that. Tell us what's going on. Tell us the questions that you wanted to ask, and pretend you're Tom and answer them for me.
Why don't I ask you the questions and you tell me what you think Tom would answer?
Okay.
Here we go. What was your relationship with Steve Cummings actually like?
I'm not going to answer that question.
There's been a lot of talk about your relationship with Ineos over the last few months. What's gone wrong and what needs to change?
I can't answer that question.
Yeah, so this is a big insight there. But, they had change of management at the start of this year, 2024.
Yeah.
Things change, Manu, all that jazz. Cummings is now...
Brailsford off to Manchester United, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Rod Ellingworth leaving.
Yeah, and Cummings is now goings. I've said it before you say it. He's gone. So if that is who the clash was between, then there could be a brighter time ahead for Pidders. And they've also got a few other different management changes in the go. So, things could turn around, but, Pidcock's not the only one to have had, rumblings with the team. He's not, other people have left. Bigham's gone. He was a bit outspoken when he left, but, how the idea of progress was or wasn't at the team. So, we'll see how next year goes. We'll see how Man U goes and, whether, Ratcliffe says see ya to cycling.
Yeah. Well, do you think he would say see ya to cycling? I suppose he could. He must be signed up for... I mean, he's got loads of money, so he can just kind of buy himself out. But it would be a hard one to take over at Ineos because it must be incredibly expensive to run.
Yeah.
And it's not the most attractive... I mean that with all due respect, but, being realistic about it, it's not the most attractive proposition right now because it's a very expensive team that isn't winning all that much and has much more it can do, has done, but doesn't look like it is going to change all that much, would you say?
Arguably the biggest problem is the current landscape. So obviously Sky took over, they dominated. Ineos took over and it was like, okay, we've still got the riders that can win. Bernal won. Then, happened what happened. Geraint Thomas was still at the peak of his powers. Froome, had his crash and, whatever happened after that. And now you've got Pogačar, Vingegaard, Evenepoel. If you take over Ineos now, are you expecting to beat those riders?
Yeah.
And if you're not, then you need to have enough money to sign them. And I'm not sure that there'll be many people that will.
That is very true. But then does that sort of pave the way for someone like Ineos to switch up to being a one-day race team for a while?
And that sort of seemed like what they had been doing, right? But then, and Ratcliffe probably said this before, the Tour de France is the goal.
Yeah.
It has been the goal for Sky from the start. And even when they did change, they won Paris-Roubaix, and Van Baarle went straight away. So you've got Paris-Roubaix winner here, and now he's gone to, Visma.
Yeah.
And now obviously Pidcock said he wants to win a monument, which is, most people listening will probably agree that's the right decision for him and for the team. So maybe maybe he'll go up, he'll, win a couple of big races next year, and then we'll be, back at it.
Yeah, I mean, you feel like he is just perfectly poised to win that.
But then at the same time,
to win a Flanders.
In the classics, you then got the problem of Pogačar again and Van der Poel.
You do, but so I was just seeing Pidcock racing at the Olympics, and you just think and I know obviously cross-country mountain biking is not, I mean, Roubaix is pretty gnarly, but it's not cross-country mountain biking. But you look at something like that and you think, would Pogačar be able to execute a move like that? Does he have that, just insane level of acceleration, incredible bike handling skills? Do you just throw everything at Pidcock and go, just race your own race, and then actually he could do something with that? And hitherto, he's not really been doing that, which is why Pogačar, as amazing as he is able to win, because he's not challenged in the way that Pidcock could challenge him if the team kind of backed him. Is that too tenuous?
If he's not, there's the question about whether he's cooling down on the mountain bike for a little bit.
Yeah.
If that is the case, that has been taking up more of his energy and, training his body in a way that he didn't need for the road, how much could he get better? Realistically, could be a lot. He's still winning big races on the road.
Yeah.
And in terms of monuments, it's not always, doesn't always come down to who's the biggest unit on the day.
No, it's
luck can be involved.
Luck.
If you get a rainy Roubaix, anything can happen. Milan-San Remo, no one knows who's going to win that until the last 200 metres.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah, and Pidcock's already won Roubaix as an under-23, hasn't he? Or
and a junior, both.
Yeah. So he's got previous.
And all you need is Pogačar just not to turn up at some of the other ones, and then.
Yeah, I mean, you don't wish it on anybody, but classic season it's a pretty dicey time. All kinds of crashes, minor injuries people pick up, so maybe there'll be a race where he just doesn't turn up to.
Yeah.
But, equally, this year, or this coming year, 2025, let's put some money on Pogačar winning 5 monuments, the Tour and the Giro, and defending his rainbow jersey.
Who won't do the Giro, do the Vuelta?
Do you think he will? Is that is that a confirmed?
That's almost confirmed. Yeah, almost definitely.
Ah, interesting. Well, there you go. I heard it here first. Other people have probably heard that before. But before we go, my last kind of musing is on Steve Cummings. I find it odd in some senses, knowing what he was as a racer, that he is where he is as a DS, because as a racer, I think he was quite open about it. He was a bit of a lone wolf, and he raced like a lone wolf. He'd just be a breakaway specialist. But I think he was a relatively kind of, separate kind of rider. And then you think, to the rest of the team, I don't know, interrupt me if this is wrong, and please don't bash down my door, Steve, if you're listening to this and it's definitely wrong. But then putting someone like that in a kind of managerial position where you need to be a people person, I wonder how difficult Pidcock might have found that, or how difficult Cummings finds Pidcock, given that perhaps managing people isn't, top of his amazing attributes, and ultimately, with again all due respect, being a precocious talent but one that's like difficult to therefore manage is part of like Pidcock's MO. It's what makes him so exciting, but also what makes him challenging as a management prospect.
I think there's a couple of things there. I think you get that all the time. I feel like you get that a lot with football managers.
Yeah.
Especially recently, it's sort of been the trend to get, this guy was a great player, let's stick him in a management position and he'll do well. Like Gerrard.
Yeah.
Not a good manager. Great player. You would have thought he'd be a good manager from, captain on the pitch, probably could do every position.
Yeah.
But he's not been great as a manager.
Roy Keane, another one.
Yeah. What a legend Roy Keane is. Bit of a weirdo, but legend.
Steve Bruce, he did all right, didn't he?
What, as a football player or manager?
Oh, he's a great football player.
Not
He's part of some big teams.
I think anybody that's been a fan of a Steve Bruce managed team would tell you that he's not a good manager.
Terrible. Anyway, sorry, I'm detracting from your point.
It depends what the Ineos management have said to Cummings, what his goal is. If he's saying you need to lead and produce a yellow jersey winning team, difficult. But if they've said, look, Tom Pidcock is a guy that will win races by himself. How many times when Pidcock has won has it been, Sky lead that train? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not how he races. So if they've said, this guy's a great racer, he's got a racing instinct, nurture that with Cummings, talk about racing instinct. Or my biggest memory of Cummings is that win against, is it Bardet and Pino, I think? That Tour de France stage where they were ahead of him and he just, went straight past them. If they've told him to nurture Pidcock, the lone shark, you can see why he would be able to
that's
do
true.
that.
That is true. Yeah.
But then again, if they're two people like that, it's not always going to go well.
Yeah, maybe opposites attract like repel. Who knows? Well, lovely thoughts, Will. Always very insightful, and we will actually find out which of them are true in the coming season in 2025. Do you know is Steve Cummings going somewhere?
Not sure.
After this, do you know?
Not sure.
I back him to remain in cycling. People like him usually do. He's got to be good if Ineos employed him for this long. And Pidcock got another couple of seasons at Ineos, do you reckon? Or is this going to be make or break time?
Yeah, that would be interesting. I think if he gets results, that they'll put in.
Yeah.
And also, he's in quite deep now with Pinarello. So, like we see with other riders, it gets to the point where if he leaves, does he then have to go to a Pinarello-sponsored team?
This is true. You mean because he's also racing on the Olympics?
Mm.
Yeah. All these sorts of factors.
Same rumours came through with Evenepoel following. These riders have got personal relationships with the brands now.
Yeah. Well,
and Sagan obviously specialised with him wherever he went.
He did. I wonder if he's got all the Specialised bikes ever raced on, because we'd have had a rather nice collection, I would imagine, Mr. Sagan. Anyway, that really is off the topic. We should go and do our day jobs. Well, It's been a pleasure. It's been a blessing and a pleasure. And just before we go, just want to look up the Glenn Campbell lyric for Wichita Lineman. Can I keep talking as I type, looking around my microphone?
I think it's Need You More Than Want You.
That's it, yeah. Which you're always like, oh, Glenn, that sounds a bit like, I don't know, a bit negative. And I need you more than want you. Because I want to be wanted, right? As an individual, as a person, as a human being. And I want you for all time. And you're like, oh, that is fucking lovely.
Good save.
Good save, Glenn. All right, I'm going to go and watch that clip on Jules Holland.
Yeah.
Okay, see you later.
See you
Bye.
later.